Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to joining us in our first webinar of the year. We are already nearing the end of March. That means that we're nearing the end of Q1, and that brings us to our first quarterly webinar. And this year we have decided to split the topics for AWS into skills, support, sales, and services. And in the webinar of today, I have invited one of our specialists in regarding to skills. I like to present you to Saskia Smitsers, who's representing TD Academy, and she will explain to you how TD SYNNEX can help you mitigate the cloud skill gap. Saskia, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan, for this introduction. I will go ahead and share my screen right away.
While Saskia is pulling up the presentation, maybe some housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to pop them in the Q&A. We will get back to your questions by the end of the session. Thank you.
So you should be able to see my screen now. Okay, that's good. Let's start this introduction on our AWS Academy at TD SYNNEX and what we can do for you. Dan and I agreed to keep this presentation short. We aim to do it in like 50 minutes to leave some time to discuss your needs regarding training and certification, and also the needs you have seen with your end customers. So this is my first slide. TD SYNNEX Academy is the services brand of TD SYNNEX, and we are AWS Authorized Training Center. And I think we differentiate from like the regular training centers is in a way that we strive to teach with innovating learning methods. Our instructors are our professionals who also make designs, do implementation, so they've got the hands-on practice. We can customize content to your needs, training deliveries, we can tailor them to your needs. And with our global, all of our global academies, we have really like a broad scale and reach to support you. So this next slide shows our technical services. As you can see, education is one of our technical services among managed services, support services, and professional services. In Europe, we are also present with our TD SYNNEX Academy. We are authorized training center for over 15 vendors. AWS is one of those vendors. If you have any training needs on other vendors that you deliver, please let us know. We are always happy to see what we can do for you. And this is something we already deliver for over like 20 years. So yes, we cover Benelux and Nordics with our Benelux Academy team. Then the next slide, I think this will be looking quite familiar to you. This is the AWS certifications overview. We start down here at the left-hand side, at the bottom in gray. The foundational courses to get started with AWS is the Cloud Practitioner. And we also have the AI Practitioner. These are very useful classes that are intended for as well sales audiences and also technical audiences. It's about understanding the solutions of AWS and how to position them. It's a very good starting point when you are new to AWS. Then we come to associate, that's the next level, and these are technical certifications. The most important ones are the solution architects, how to create a design on AWS, the developer, how to create your own AWS solutions, and the SysOps administrator, of course, how to manage Azure AWS environments. As you understand, we also are a training center for Microsoft. So therefore, I mix up sometimes these technologies, but of course we are talking about AWS today. Then we also have professional level classes to jump to the right-hand side, where we talk about the solutions architect professional and the DevOps engineer professional. And then we also have the purple marked specialties. So we have advanced networking, machine learning, and security. If this is all clear and there aren't any questions left, I will move on to the next slide. Of course, if you have any questions, just raise your hand or put something in the chat, and then we will address it. Next slide is about various ways of teaching classes for you. The most low-level way of getting skilled and certified is with Skill Builder. I think you all know the AWS website, the partner network. It's like environment where you can create your own account, and there's a lot of free content to use on Skill Builder. You could also buy a Skill Builder license at TD SYNNEX, and then you have access to everything out there. The only disadvantage is that it's a lot of materials and it's self-paced. So you will have to find your learning path yourself, and also there's no scheduled classes. So you have to be really like highly motivated to ensure that you get your learning and skilling done. The next level is also a very low level to get started with training. Sometimes our partners struggle to get started because if you take your training and certification right now, but you have your first migration over half a year time frame, then it you really have to deep dive back into your knowledge. And maybe it is challenging to perform your first implementation yourselves without any guidance or support. So that's where the on-the-job learning comes into practice. Basically, our professional services team helps you with project management, scoping a project, creating a solution, and implementation of a solution. And your technical guys and girls will be sitting there all along the way and will be trained on the job in like one-day learning sessions. And they actually are involved in the live migration itself. And there's also a recap afterwards, like what did you learn with your first projects and how you can continue learning to manage this all yourselves. Then, of course, we have classroom training, which is instructor-led training. We can provide that like in our training centers, at your office, or live online, which is also a very common way to learn since the COVID period. We have certification fast tracks. I will tell you a bit more about that later. And there's also private training. So we can tailor any training content deliveries any way you'd like. So yeah, that's, I think, a very nice benefit that we can offer you. But it's not only about training your own staff. Training is also very useful to get your end customers up to speed. So you can resell trainings to your end customers, and what it would offer you is an additional margin, of course, which is always nice to make. But besides that, you will be seen as a trusted advisor for your end customers, that you care about them, and that they will be able to use your solution in the best way possible. This could also be like an AWS solution that is carried out. We could train the administrators and the developers of the end customer, but we could also make users of your end customer familiar with new AWS solutions. This will improve customer satisfaction, of course. Everyone who is skilled on a certain solution and knows how to use it in the best way seems to be more happy with the solution. And what also is the case that if there's, for instance, an administrator or developer or a user at your end customer side, if they know how to use the solution well, you will have less requests for support, which also saves you time, of course. Then let's get to the next slide, and this is about our certification fast tracks. We noticed that for many partners and also for end customers, only taking a class and like being away from your daily jobs for like 3 days is the average duration with AWS courses. It only provides you like the knowledge and skills in those 3 days. But if you get back to the office and you start with your daily job and you don't touch these materials again, it doesn't sink in and you will never get the certification. And we think that that is a pity. So for our partners, we've developed certification fast tracks. In certification fast tracks, we teach trainings over a time frame for about 6 weeks. These are guided tracks, and we really like guide you over those 6 weeks to get really ready for taking your exam. And the average pass rate we have measured is 76% of students pass their exam at the first attempt. How do these tracks look like? We start with self-study. We think especially when we look about skilled engineers, it's a waste of time if you have an instructor teaching a whole day just explaining theory, that a skilled IT professional could really read very efficient and quickly in their own time, and they could spread out this learning of the theory in between their daily tasks. So self-study is in the theory, and then the next step is instructor-led training, and this is really hands-on training. And this is seen as the most important part of the training, because you want to experience, you want to have hands-on practice with the labs, with the solutions, and also being able to ask questions about your own customers, your own environments, and learn about best practices and tips and tricks. When the theory and the hands-on part is done, we will advise you to take practice exams. And then after you've been practicing those exams, there's another 1 day of training, and we call this the exam preparation training. But it's more like some sort of milestone, like, hey, you've done all your preparation. Are you ready for taking the exam? Do you have any questions left that we have to address? And we scheduled your exam all together. So if the exam date is already picked, it's like you are likely to take it on the time that you've reserved for your exam, and you're not going to postpone it endlessly. And then, sometimes it never happens again. So this track is really a guided track from A to Z to take your exam in the best way possible. So we've covered these, like all the steps of the certification fast tracks. What's left then for you is what, of course, for many partners is really important is getting skilled for your partner status with AWS. For the select partner status, there's a little demand for getting individuals certified. But if you then move to advanced, you have 4 technical individuals that you have to certify, at least 2 associates and 2 professionals or specialty individuals. So if you're looking to obtain your APN partner status, please contact Dan, and we'll make sure that we create a plan for you to get your people trained and certified in the time frame in which you want to require your partner status. So I think we're well using the time because this is already my last slide, but there's something I would like to show you on our Academy website. Getting in touch is we have an academy with all the AWS courses and the course schedule. If you have any questions about AWS skilling certification, you can reach out to Dan and his AWS team, but you can also reach out to us directly. I think that Dan will be sharing this presentation with you in case you have any questions. And then I'm going to show you the, let me see if I can do it this way, just putting my website in front of the presentation. Do you see it already, Dan, or do I have to stop share and renew share?
I think you have to reshare.
To reshare. Okay, let's do the reshare then. Just a second. So we are working, of course, nowadays with many different platforms. and have to be familiar in using all of them. So I'm going to make this screen a little smaller, getting back to my Zoom session, stop share, and then do the reshare for a window again. And it's the window with my Discover AWS Training. Yes, this is the one that I want to share. Let me see. So you're seeing the right screen now, Dan?
Yes, correct.
Oh, cool. So you're seeing a screen about training. It's the AWS homepage, isn't it? So yeah, it's this one that says academy.tdsynnex.com/nl vendor Amazon.
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. Okay, because if you you open the URL of the presentation, you get to the homepage, and then you can select Amazon as a vendor. This gives you an introduction about the trainings we offer, and in the left-hand navigation pane, you can select a certain topic, and then you find all courses that we have for this solution, this topic, and it shows you the top courses, the most popular courses that we have. For instance, if you go to architect, you find the architecting classes. You can select the training, you find the course outline, and you find the delivery dates that we have scheduled. But there's also another way to find our training offerings, and that is if you go to, I see I have it in Dutch, but of course I can move to English. There's a top hand navigation bar which shows you the schedule and instructor-led training. And if then again I select AWS, you see the full curriculum that we have scheduled. So you can see what we have available for you on which delivery dates. And as you can see, we currently have a promotion with 30% discount of AWS training. Might be a nice promotion to benefit from. For instance, on April 7th, you can join our architecting class, which is a very popular one, and the Cloud Practitioner Essentials classes, developing on AWS. And let me see. I think, yeah. And if there's anything you are looking for that's not in our overview yet, please let us know. Then we'll indicate what we have scheduled or what we can schedule for you. So then I think it's time to stop sharing and to see whether there are any questions left.
I haven't seen any questions pop into the chat yet, Saskia. So I think what I can do is I can thank all attendees for joining us to understand how TD SYNNEX can solve the cloud skill gap for the resellers and their end customers. And as you already confirmed, I will be sending out the slide deck to all attendees, and I will keep you posted for any eventual follow-up webinars. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.